like most video games or game simulators or whatever you want to call it, there's quite a bit of toxic players. So today we're going to talk about the psychology part of vrboxing. I know that sounds silly. Trust me, I get it. But there's such a large mental portion of this, whether it's mentally pushing yourself in an actual fight when it comes to exhaustion. Like, man, I'm exhausted, but I got to sit there and save face. I got to pretend. I got to make sure he thinks that there's no way I'm exhausted because I'm not like, and my avatar isn't huffing and puffing. So from that portion to it, to the psychology part of it when it comes to taunting, maybe my opponent is super toxic and he's using some exploits and he's taunting in whatever fashion that you and me both have seen it. And I'm willing to even bet this, like if you're hearing my voice and you've experienced a toxic player in ranked or custom or whatever it is, comment what your experiences are. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't had that many. I've gone through thousands of rounds and I've probably ran into like 3 bad matches when it comes to someone just not like, oh, they spam so good. Spammers were never the issue. I have a large play space, so movement was never a problem. I'm a little experienced, so I could pivot well and angle well. I think the only 3 weird matches were like someone that was super toxic or like endlessly taunting or something. It was just like almost uncomfortable. So let's go over a few things that may help you when it comes to the mental part of pushing past your physical capability, or really just staying in your professional lane of, let the kids be kids and I'm gonna throw hands. So number 1 is probably the most simplest and obvious thing, but don't take the bait. Okay, as the kids say, you know what it is, rage bait. Don't take it. Let them taunt. And from the very beginning, let them taunt, let them do whatever. You have your hands up and you have clean boxing. You outwork them from the taunting. As you get better, because you're not losing your composure, they're going to get worse because they're going to get more irritated because they're not only the toxic player, they maybe are a bit off way more they can chew because of your skill level, because you watch my videos. But not just that, if they're getting knocked down, that's like a stab in the heart every time. So don't take the bait. Keep your composure no matter what they're doing. What I do realize is that whether this demographic of person is very young or not, if they're spam-like, if they're very taunting and aggressive and kind of like doing too much, they have a hard time keeping up with footwork. I know not everybody has a giant space, not everyone is in room scale, but I do know that I've never met a spammer that I couldn't handle easily with circling. Just simple footwork. Their cardio can't hang with it. And if you do it properly, where I'm cutting the angle, firing, and then cutting the opposite angle, they're gonna look like spaghetti. So if you do come across that train that's just endlessly hitting, or maybe it's just proper stances, maybe they're just arm flailing at you with whatever they can to create some damage, angles, footwork, just circle, simple circling. I know, make do with the space that you got, circle, angle, even if it is just small motions in a tight space. Say if I'm in standing mode and I'm right here, I can always have head movement, that's left, that's right, that's straight back. But I can also make small pivots from here, right? I can throw across and step out and then angle here. Or maybe I want to go the opposite direction. I want to throw the cross and then take a side step with the back leg and angle this way. So even in a tight space, we can still create the angle and stay moving. Conor McGregor said it best. Precision beats power and timing beats speed. And in this game, since power is so hard to translate, like I can swing for the fences, and like if I throw overhand right to your nose, you're not going to be standing there. And sometimes that's the case, and maybe that's for you too, or you're just here, you're like, wow, and you throw like this big monster and it just lands perfectly. Oops. And the avatar is just wide-eyed and staring at you, fine. Because it's so hard to transfer that big power, think about precision over the power. So don't think that I need to really load this thing up, think that I need to hit a target. And do you remember the first game? The first game's dummy had like little marks on the hit points. So think about those still being there. I'm not trying to hit the weak point as hard as I can. I'm just trying to hit it. If I can land 2 punches, let's say if I throw a cross and an uppercut, let's say if I'm here and I go versus pop, pop. The second one, on average for me personally, does more damage. I don't know if maybe because I slow it down a little bit and I can, pop, and I can slow it down so I can hit that weak point a little bit more precise than I can with a big cross uppercut. But for me personally, slowing it down and trying to really hit the chin instead of going, I'm gonna hit the head twice, like boom, boom, no matter where those punches are landing, I'm throwing force. So think about being precise instead of hard sledgehammer, think sniper. These next few are gonna be between the rounds. How are you behaving? How's the other person behaving? What I do know is that there's 2 variations, right? You have someone that is hitting exhaustion. So they go to the corner, hands on their headset, trying to get their air. For me, this is a wounded deer in the woods and I'm a hungry wolf. So that, and I wish I was being sarcastic. I wish I was being funny, but that's exactly how I feel about it. If my guy's over here, I am standing here like I haven't been fed in days, looking across, and I'm ready for the next round, because he's not. No way. So that's the first kind of category of person that I hit. Either someone that is hitting exhaustion, but the second category is the person that they're not exhausted. They're going through all their Fortnite emotes. You know, they're really trying to get under your skin. And that's the person that I think we should talk about. Y'all saw how I felt about the first person, okay? You're a wolf, you're hungry, you haven't been fed, he's wounded deer in the woods, okay? But also think about the opposite, right? Don't be a wounded deer. Don't be a wounded deer, okay? Put your game face. I don't care. It's VR. You can hide it better. I could be like this and just die, just dying, you know? But to him, I'm good. I'm like stoic even. I'm like terrifying, because like, why is this guy not breathing harder? At least, you know. Or maybe you do like the Vanderlei Silva, where you're just like, here, just eye contact. You're waiting for this round to start. You know, whatever it is, okay? Don't be wounded deer in the woods. But with that being said, in between rounds, outside of the psychology part of him or me or how we're behaving, use that time to lower your heart rate. You know, I was so heavily into the fitness world. What I'm learning as I'm coaching VR boxing, I taught real boxing and real wrestling and real jiu-jitsu and real MMA. But teaching it on a VR level, I'm teaching to someone that hasn't necessarily been into a gym yet and kind of touch that foundation, which I'm not used to. Starting with some pretty foundational stuff, or maybe even bring in some basic fundamental stuff, like try to lower your heart rate or try to control your breathing, or, you know, to lower your heart rate, it may be foreign. So in between the rounds, you go back, you sit still, catch your breath. That's all we're focused on. We're not focused on the dude that's doing that Fortnite emote. You know what I mean? We're here. For me, I pull my headset up. 99% of the time, my headset's flopped up, and I'm like letting the fan hit my eyeballs and drying off. I'm not even looking that direction. And maybe that's a good thing for you too. Maybe just like kind of show zero interest in it. Especially if you find it that they are being toxic. You can just kind of flip up or kind of totally ignore. But remember, we don't take the bait. And for the end of the fight, whenever you use your proper boxing to take out this dude and he doesn't leave immediately, he lets the announcer say he's a loser, still don't take the bait. Fist bump, offer the fist bump, tell him good job, he'll learn, okay? It is, trust me, it is so difficult to, like, even for fun, kind of play back and kind of, you know, go through that route where it's like, oh, I tagged you or you tagged me. That's okay, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying when someone is truly being toxic or truly just trying to mess up a match. I'm not saying when you get in with your buddy and you tag him one good time and you're like, oh, ha, 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 ha. You know, that's fair play. But you know what I'm talking about. With that being said, don't lose your composure. It's a VR boxing match. That's in pre-release, by the way. Let's not kind of get away from that. The damage system isn't done. The avatars look a little wonky. I look insane. When I look back at, like, even the point of view footage, my guy's like, I can't even physically do it because my legs. I can't even physically show you because my legs will move properly. And that's not, we're like kind of like a chess piece, right? With flailing arms. And I've already seen how stupid I look with hands down here. My avatar looks like, man, come on. Some of the stuff may be pretty basic, but if you're new to the combative sport, even VR combative sports, maybe you're not used to that confrontation. And maybe because you're not used to like rolling every day with someone or fighting or sparring or anything like that, confrontation may bring out some emotions that bring out some of your worst Fortnite emotes. So don't be that guy, okay? Let's try our best to create a community that's gonna better each other. Think about it, right? If you join a gym and we're all just trying to win in any fashion, eye gouging, pulling hair, low blows, you're like, why would I fucking train here? Why am I doing this? And think about the rate you're gonna get better at. It just starts to plummet. But imagine if your partner's left and right of you, at the opposite effect. I want you to get better, because if you get better, then I get better. And if I don't get better, it's gonna be really obvious when you start whooping my ass. So it forces me to get better. So as a teammate, I would love for you to get better, because again, what does that mean? I get better. I tell my son this all the time. What happens if you win? I'm pointing to my son. And he'll say it. Then I win. What happens if I win? Then he'll say it. Then I win. So if I win, he wins. And if he wins, I win. Keep your cool. Knock some heads around. And enjoy the game. Check out these other two videos if you want more boxing. Check out these other two videos if you're interested in more content from me. But as always, if you haven't subscribed, let's do that right here. Pretty please. See ya.